Oh, I can't do that for a prolonged period of time because I will get ill.
Hi!
Hi!
It's me!
Ken!
The big red machine, Ken!
Hi, Ken!
Hey, Heckfire and Brimstone.
Heckfire and Brimstone.
Got a little, Hope you're doing alright, Andrew.
I'm doing alright, Ken. How are you doing?
I'm doing all good. I've had a lovely day. I have a little secret to share with you, though.
Oh, go on.
Here's my little secret. Not even Ken, it's me.
What?
I know!
Big reveal of the weekend.
Arguably the most important reveal of
Very true.
WrestleMania weekend. It is welcome to Cultaholic Live. That's what this is. I'm Tom Campbell. I'm with Andrew Hodkinson. There he is. There's his hang on.
Hi, I am the most handsome man on radio and on the YouTubes. My name's Tom Campbell.
They were the other way.
No, they weren't. They were the right way.
Everyone is the right way. Welcome to the last ever Cultaholic Live. Look at that.
No, it's gone so fast.
It has been a hot minute since we began our adventure into the world of live reviewing.
Yeah.
We are calling time. This is our last one. We hope you've enjoyed it. We've had a lovely time.
Yeah, it's been grand.
You know what? In the world of the internet and YouTube and stuff, sometimes you just got to pivot a little bit. Sometimes you've got to change it up a little bit. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for being a part of it. It's your last chance. If you would like to get involved with Cultaholic Live, send us super chats, get involved via YouTube, have your comments come up on the screen. We'll chat to you via the power of the super chat today. If you have any thoughts on night 2 of WrestleMania, which we are going to get properly into the weeds on in a little bit. But your thoughts are greatly appreciated. I do want to say, or I ask you how you are.
Yes.
I will ask you that in a second.
Okay.
Thank you to you for joining Adam Pacitti over the weekend on the live reactions, because I believe at one point we had over 6,000 people watching with Adam.
That's insane.
Unbelievable.
So thank you so much for that.
I think it was one
really
of the
nice.
most watched reaction streams.
Wow.
So
Well, I mean, it's WrestleMania as well, and it's Adam Pacitti.
And it's Adam Pacitti.
You get a handsome man and wrestling all rolled into one delicious, delectable bowl of goodness.
I've said this on many occasions, but I genuinely believe the Cultaholic community is the best wrestling community.
Yeah.
And continue to prove that over the week. Thank you so much. Andrew, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Tom. How are you doing today?
Sleepy.
Yeah, I think we all are at this point, aren't we?
Let's play our favorite game. What's your sleeping pattern like? It's the jingle.
What's my sleeping pattern? I didn't really get that much sleep last night. I got to bed at 5. Probably woke up maybe around 8ish or something, and just lied in bed for a little bit. What about you?
You lied in bed.
I laid in bed. I lied in bed.
You went there and
I lied.
Cows are really people in disguise. I went to bed at about maybe 7:30.
Yeah.
Lied in bed for a bit.
Lied in bed.
Told some lies, and then I think it might have been. I think Dick Tubbs from The Office who went, don't suppose anybody's around with a set of keys.
Yeah, I saw that.
And you know when, like, on the group chat, you give it a beat and you just go, is anybody else going to reply to this?
Please.
Or is everybody asleep?
Please.
I went, I'm probably the only one who worked through the night that's asleep. And I went, all right, I'll be there in 20. And I got my trousers on. And I booked a taxi, and as I was heading towards where my taxi was picking me up, they went, "Oh no, it's all right, Dan's here." I was like, "Oh, okay."
You're a hero, Tom,
I needed cat food anyway. So
you're
it's
a
fine.
hero regardless, young man.
Oh,
You're a wonderful being.
Dan is here, by the way, and I hope Dan won't mind if we give him a little bit of love and ask him very quickly without talking over him how because the mic's a bit weird.
Yeah.
How WrestleMania was for. Let's see if we'll do that. Hello, Dan.
Hi.
How was WrestleMania for you, Dan?
Very enjoyable. Sorry, everyone. I'm doing 4 things at once.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Sorry, it's me. I cannot multitask, but thank you. It was very good. Thank you. And I apologize if this mic's a bit weird as well. So, and the echoes. Yeah, I had a very good time.
Look, we'll let you multitask. I threw that at you, but wanted to put you on screen and say thank you because it's Dan that brings this to life.
It actually, Dan does so much that you don't see behind the scenes. He's a wonderful human being. So thank you so much for all your hard work, Dan.
All technical faults are this guy's fault. So, blame me. If it sounds bad, it's this guy.
Oh, behave. Thank you, Dan.
Good, and thank you so much.
He's also an excellent kisser. Let us move on to... So I heard. From myself. We're going to move on to night 2 of WrestleMania. So there was a lot to. There was a big tall order for WWE.
Yeah.
After night 1.
Absolutely.
Because night 1, even in retrospect, like with a fresh bit of sleep, it was a great night of the wrestling.
So fun, wasn't it? I think we were just talking beforehand and saying, like, I think in the WrestleManias that we've had more recently, this has definitely been one of the ones just to leave us with a smile on our face.
Yeah.
It's been it's just felt like a blast from the past, whilst also at the same time feeling sort of a sign of things to come now. Like, we are moving forward, as you said perfectly. We've put a full stop on this, and now we are moving into the future, into new and fresh territory. Hopefully so, at least, anyway.
Yeah, it very much felt like there was some good forward progression.
Yep.
And there was nostalgia act, and it was nice to have Steve Austin kind of like go out on a real high.
Yes.
Because as we'll talk about in a bit, Steve Austin had a lovely WrestleMania weekend. He certainly
enjoyed
did.
himself.
Let's get started then. So no matches again on the pre-show.
No.
A lot of chitter chatter.
Was there a match that could have been on the pre-show, Tom? We will get to that as well.
We certainly will. We open last night. The Saturday night we opened with the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Sunday night we opened with the Raw Tag Team titles. It is RK Bro versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy. Riddle and. This whole thing wasn't massive. Wasn't anything in terms of wacky entrances from these three.
Actually, Tom, sorry, can we address the fact that Randy Orton's snake in the sky and Matt Riddle's snake in the sky were just having at it? It was very, very strange, but I enjoyed it very much.
I liked the polar opposite snakes.
My thing is, right, it's either the things in the graphics in the sky, they're either okay or they're that janky that they are amazing. There's no in between. Like, it's so strange. But I love it when it goes wrong.
Oh, it's extra fun when it goes wrong.
It really is.
Or when they look like wrestlers made of chocolate, like the Roman Reigns thing that they have.
It's so weird. But
someone signed off on that.
Yeah.
Think about that. So triple threat tag match to get started. Ford hits a redonkulous dive over the turnbuckle in the first few minutes.
My God.
It's his thing now that at WrestleMania he'll just throw his body into the wilderness. Riddle takes a long shoeing. We have the Alphas and the Profits making regular tags. So it's triple threat rules in this match, which is a nice differential.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the good thing, because whatever sort of combination of wrestlers you have in there from these three teams, they always manage to find chemistry and put on a really good show.
Yeah, they really do, and I like the setup here. Eventually, Orton gets a hot tag. He lights up the ring, taking everybody out. Riddle and Orton land stereo draping DDTs, but the Alpha Academy stop them doing stereo RKOs. We see the Street Profits hit a gorgeous Doomsday blockbuster. How Montez Ford nearly leaping into the atmosphere.
I think he touched a rocket in the sky at one point. It was beautiful.
That's an amazing height he got on that. We then get to the end of the match. It comes with Riddle hitting an RKO off the top on Ford, which looked great. And then as Gable was coming off the top rope, Orton catches him with an RKO as he's hitting the ground. Beautifully done. Not a step out of place. 1, 2, 3. RK Bro retain the titles. Now, post-match, Street Profits come into the ring.
Yep.
And we'd heard some rumor and innuendo that there was a heel turn coming here. There wasn't. There were drinks. And then they invited Gable Steveson to come join them in the ring, didn't they? They invited them. And so Gable Steveson got in there.
Yeah.
And they were all toasting. Chad Gable knocks the drink out of Gable Stevenson's hand.
Yep.
Tells him to shush.
Shush.
Gable Stevenson decides, forget it. Overhead suplex.
Man, it was so good as well.
So
he got
very,
some height
good.
on Chad Gable there. It was really, really cool to see. I'm glad that we've actually seen him do something now too. Like, I was worried because before that we'd also seen him at the front barricade, and they were like, "It's Gable Steveson again, wave!"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, are we doing this again?" But then to actually get him involved in something, it was really cool to see.
What do we reckon for the grade on this?
I think this was a perfect way to kick off WrestleMania Night 2. After just the highs of Night 1, this was the way to really kick it off. And I think everybody worked so well every single one of these teams works so well. And as we were saying, every single combination from each team works perfectly together too. I could not give this anything more than, I think an A- is like a decent shout. An A-. What are you feeling?
You know what? I'm feeling similar to the way you're feeling, and
Yeah.
I think you're thinking what I think you're thinking.
Yes.
So lock it in. It's an A- for our opening match for the Raw Tag Team titles. Non-stop action.
Yeah.
Big moves throughout. The perfect way to kick off night 2. Except it actually wasn't the way that we kicked off night 2. Because stupidly, I didn't have this at the top of my notes, but I really should have done.
I didn't want to cut you off or anything, you know.
Oh, you should have done. You should have just sliced me in half with bread knife. We actually did kick off WrestleMania Night 2 with time to play the game.
Did.
And out comes Triple H announcing his retirement just a few days before this. He hugs his kids at ringside. He hugs Gable Steveson at ringside. He spits the water everywhere.
He does?
You know the world is healed when Triple H is allowed to spit water again.
That's it.
And he officially welcomes us and says thank you and says welcomes us to WrestleMania. The fireworks go off, and then what we notice is, whilst all that's happening, Triple H is in the ring he's holding something.
He's holding his boots, Tom.
He's holding his boots. And as he's saying welcome to WrestleMania, he's jumped out of the ring, and left in the ring is the microphone he was speaking on and his wrestling boots, which is the classic wrestler way of saying, I am retiring.
Yeah.
That is the end of my time. Either that, or apparently if you leave your wrestling boots in the middle of the ring overnight, you'll find £5 under your pillow from the wrestling boot fairy. Try that. But this was a real sweet moment.
Yeah.
Like Triple H got to say like a goodbye, like and do his walkout one more time.
Yeah.
Which I thought was nice. It's bittersweet.
It's very bittersweet. And you know, when you see something like that, it just reminds you of when you're growing up and you're watching wrestling and stuff, and there's just certain people that you remember and certain matches that you remember, right? And he's been in the majority of those matches for a lot of us, you know. He's been a big part of all of our love of wrestling for years and years and years. And not a WrestleMania, is it, without a Triple H entrance, a grand Triple H entrance. And obviously with all the health stuff that he's been going through at the moment, it was really sweet. It was really sweet to see him come back. It was sweet to see the whole crowd go mental for him, as obviously they would do. And yeah, it's a shame that obviously he's had to hang the boots up and whatnot, but like, what a fitting way to do it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your super chats today. This is the final Cultaholic Live, so it is your last chance to interact with Cultaholic Live. Thank you to Steven Skodes for your 5 and your 2. Lots of love to you. Thank you very much for the kind words on our 700,000 subs.
That's insane.
We
Thank
did
you
it.
so much. Thank you so much.
It was yesterday, and that was another reason why we should say thank you as well. Not only did you join Adam Pacitti in your droves last night for WrestleMania Night 2 action, but also you helped us reach 700,000 subscribers on YouTube.
A lot of people.
And it's a lot of people. It's a lot of love. Thank you so much. Here's to 800,000.
Fingers crossed.
And thank you, Stephen, for all your support always in the super chats.
you.
Thank you very much. And also lots of love for Dan for the hard work that he does as well. Lots of love to Dan. Yes, thumbs up from Dan. JMC1396 donated. Thank you very much indeed. Watching WrestleMania and the streams were 2 of the most fun nights I've had watching wrestling. Thank you so much indeed. Did anyone else see the video Mick Foley uploaded laughing at Vince's stunner cell? I did.
He was wheezing. I thought we needed to ring for the man, call for the man. He's gone. He's gone. He's done for. It was good. It was really good.
Well, thank you very much, JMC. More on the stunner in a little bit. Who else is super chatting?
We've got one there. We've got one from Ewan Hutchison. Why can't I ever say that? It's on my mouth. My tongue is too big for my mouth. Ewan, thank you so much. It's the last live review show, so give me a oh hell yeah. There you go. Got to give him one of them. We've also got one from I Am Eli Bomb. Thank you so much. Austin laughing his ass. Oh, did you already say that? Did you say
No,
that
no,
one?
no, I've done that
No,
one.
okay,
No,
there
you're
we
all
go.
good, you're
We'll
all
get
good,
there.
you're all good, do that
Austin
one.
laughing his ass off. Vince taking the worst stunner. Cole being more hyped than a Cena return. Pat killing it. I was so sports entertained, as I think we all were. Richard Winter, thank you so much. Don't care what anyone thinks. Pat McAfee stole the show last night. We'll definitely get to that. We've got some more there, Tom. Do you want to?
Yeah, we'll
there?
get through these ones. James Harris, £10 through Super Chat. Thank you very much indeed. Best Mania ever for me.
Wow.
Trump's X7. Wow. That's a bold statement.
Yeah, it is.
No match as poor as the gimmick battle royal. Or as Mayor's the right of centre matches. Now, James, you listen, James. You listen, James. James, thank you for the donation. Thank you for supporting us on Super Chat, James. You look in my eyes, James. You look in my eyes. You looking? Are you looking? Right? Keep the gimmick battle royal's name out of your mouth. Keep the Sheik's name out of your mouth!
Oh!
Good gimmick battle royal.
That is. It is. I agree. Bit of fun.
It's a little bit. Hey, this is all a little bit. Thank you, James.
Thank you very much.
Bridget Hulette. Oh, I hope it rhymes that way.
That's very
An
good.
incredible donation. Thank you very much for the $45 through Super Chat. Thank you so much.
That's ridiculous. Thank you so much.
So your two favourites are kicking off Monday. Are they? Oh, maybe talking about the wrestling buddies
Of
at the
course.
front here. Thank you very much. Thank you for making the world a better place.
Yeah, that's really
For
sweet.
you and for me and the entire human race.
That's really, really sweet. Thank you so much. It means
Thank
the
you.
world.
We'll save some of
will.
these because we've got to roll on through. But please, if you want to get involved, give us your thoughts on WrestleMania Night 2. Any thoughts on the whole weekend? We'll get to them as we roll on through the show because we've got more matches to talk about. Bobby Lashley and Omos in action next. Omos now has wrestling gear, which is a shame because I will miss him wearing his just popping to the shops attire to wrestling.
He literally just looks like a tall Del boy.
Tall boy!
When he's got his jacket and everything on it, he's just a tall Del boy. That's what he is. Give him
Right.
a chain, give him a flat cap, he'd be great.
Only Fools and Horses, US version, right? Omos is Del Boy. You cowards. You cowards. I love that. Well, I think that's lovely jubbly.
I'd love to
This
see that.
time next year, we'll be millionaires. I'd love that. That's amazing. And Omos is fighting Bobby. Omos tried to squeeze Bobby's head early on,
Yeah.
which is your classic big lad who doesn't quite know wrestling yet
Yeah.
move to do.
I'll just put my hand on his head. That'll stop him.
I wonder if anyone's ever done that and then the skull's cracked and all the goos come out.
God, well, there's definitely got to be a film where that happens, right?
Oh, it's bound to be.
We could have done that in like a cinematic match. We could have had Bray Wyatt just absolutely crumble John Cena's head with his hand.
I thought they'd do that at WrestleMania 9
yeah.
with Crush versus Doink. I thought Crush would just squeeze Doink's head and all the green goo would come out. Didn't happen. Bobby briefly overpowers Omos, but the story here is that Omos is massive. Bobby tried to get the Hurt Lock on. He gets overpowered. Bobby attempts a top rope crossbody, and he's grabbed in midair.
Unreal.
It's amazing to see someone the size, the width, the girth of Bobby Lashley look like a cruiserweight.
And Omos didn't even have to step back or anything either.
No.
He just caught him like it was nothing, and that's really impressive.
Lashley fights out. Omos dumps Lashley into the corner. Bobby bangs his head off the back turnbuckle. Lashley then fights out of a long bear hug. Impressively gets a snap suplex on Omos.
Yeah.
He hits a back spear,
Yeah.
which I believe might be a trending move in weeks to come.
It seems to be, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, we'll get to that. We might be catching on to a trend here, a bit like Flair's in the 70s. A spear to the back and then a spear to the front puts Omos down for the 1, 2, 3. Bobby wins.
Yeah.
Glorious.
Very glorious. I mean, after everything that Bobby's been through, dropping the title, not really being able to defend the title either. Obviously, we saw him at Elimination Chamber have to vacate it because he needed shoulder surgery. This was a nice way to bring him back. He's getting the babyface pops at the moment. He got the big grand entrance as well, which was really nice to see. I think he needed something. It would have almost felt like insult to injury, right, to bring Bobby Lashley back and then have him lose again.
Yes.
Like that comes at the detriment, I guess, to Omos. It would have been nice to see Omos defeat someone of a high caliber as well to really get him over too and prove that he is such a monster, which But that's also the thing as well, is that, yes, Omos lost, but Omos manhandled Bobby Lashley like I don't think anybody's ever manhandled Bobby Lashley. And that was a very cool thing to see. Regardless if he lost, it still makes him look like a monster too.
So nothing is lost by Bobby.
I don't
by
think
Omos
so.
losing to Bobby.
I don't think so. I think it makes both people look strong. At least with the offense that that Omos got on Lashley, I think that makes up for the fact that he got the loss tonight.
So what we grading this?
I don't know. What do you think?
I was leaning towards because there wasn't much they could do.
Yeah.
And it was brief and it ended explosively. Could have been a touch briefer.
Yeah, I agree.
I know everybody complains that some of the matches were short on this show.
Yeah.
One in particular. But this could have been a bit shorter, I think. I'm kind of feeling a C+.
I will go with a C+. Some of it was a little bit snug as well.
Yeah.
But I think a C+ is a very good shout.
Right, lock it in. It's a C+ for Bobby and Omos. Thanks for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your super chats as well. Who have we got?
We've got a few. We've got Rolling Courage there. Have we got? I think we've. Yeah, I think that's. Yes, Rolling Courage. Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Fretz before
we missed
that.
you, Mr. Fretz. Sorry about that. Thank you so much there. Gable versus Gable. For use of the name Gable. I'm locking it in still, Tom, that we're gonna get Chad Gable just being Chad and having a nice chiseled jaw and all the what's it called, facial hair to make him look like the Giga Chad.
Do we make him a Chad?
Chads. I think so. Rolling Courage, thank you so much for the super chat. It speaks to the magic of Cultaholic that I ended up not being able to make it to WrestleMania 38 due to car trouble.
What?
And yet you all make it feel just as special. Rolling Courage, I'm so sorry to hear that. Bless you so much, but thank you so much.
I feel like that was a
tuning in.
WCW storyline back in the day.
Sounds like one, doesn't it?
I think Johnny B. Bad missed a TV title match because he had car trouble.
Oh,
so
no.
If I were you, Rolling Courage, I'd check and see whether DDP slashed your tyres because that's what happened to Johnny B. Bad.
He might just be in the back of the car waiting for him.
He could be, actually. He could be. Thank you very much to Stem Cells for the 100 rupees on Super Chat.
Thank you.
This was a very enjoyable Mania. My highlight was Stone Cold, closely followed by Cody. Vince was great too, and I liked the main event. There's lots to love.
There was.
In and around WrestleMania.
There was so much good stuff. It definitely put a smile on our faces. Kayla Moonshoes, thank you as well for the super chat. Happy Monday from Off of America, good fellows. First time back to wrestling in many, many months, and what a show to return to.
Yeah, heck of a return for you. Thank you very much indeed for the donation through Super Chat. Liam Moran, to you as well. Thank you for the 449. Vince McMahon and Pat McAfee won't get a star rating from Davey Meltzer because he won't admit it was a 5-star classic. 6 stars it was.
That's very good.
Well, we've got to grade it for that. Don't you worry. We'll do what Dave. We will do what Dave Meltzer don't
do.
Nintendo don't.
He's got it. Anthony Antonucci, thank you so much. I think it's a tie for me between Seth versus Cody and Edge versus AJ for best match. We'll get to that, but I think they very much did mirror one another.
They really did. Thank you. More of these. We'll read out a few more in a little bit of your super chat, so you can get in touch with us on the show today to have your thoughts on last night's WrestleMania and the whole weekend of WrestleMania via super chat. It is the last ever Cultaholic Live, so it is your last chance to do so. We move on to Sami Zayn.
Yep.
My mate Sami Zayn.
Your mate.
My mate Sami Zayn.
Best friends.
We had a lovely chat for the podcast last week, and he is in there with Johnny Knoxville. Anything goes match set up between these two. The match starts with a haluva kick immediately from Sami Zayn to Johnny Knoxville. Knoxville does recover, blasting Sami with a fire extinguisher. We got garbage cans, we got a stop sign, we've got a table covered in mouse traps. And I'm thinking, this is plenty of lovely nonsense. But we barely scratched the surface.
We barely scratched the surface for what's to come. But as soon as that trash can came out with all the weapons, as soon as I saw the stop sign, Tom, I was like, we are back. We are back in the hardcore division. We are back in the Attitude Era.
It very much felt like that, and then some. Knoxville takes a shoe-in through a lot of this one. He gets an exploder suplex through the table at one point, and he's setting up for another haluva kick, is Sami, but Knoxville blasts an air horn in his face, which I don't know how you prep for that.
No.
Because even though like you can look after your opponent and stuff, that's gonna feel horrible.
That's gonna rock someone, right? Because how do you protect yourself from an air horn?
Exactly.
Unless he had secret little earbuds in his ears to stop it from getting you, but I don't know.
Quite possibly a worked air horn. Sami does rally in this, and it looks like he's going to get one up on Knoxville. Party boy. Bum, 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 bum. Party Boy hits the ring. He strips his clothes off, starts dancing next to Sami Zayn whilst Knoxville recovers. Party Boy gets knocked down and he gets kicked under the ring. And and then there's a little bit of commotion under the ring.
Yeah.
And the crowd go wild as Wee Man bursts
my
out from under the
God.
ring, no doubt doing a work placement at Little People's Court, which I loved this bit. Wee Man, a huge ovation for Wee Man, who just takes it to Sami Zayn.
He's so good. He's got so much charisma as well. Like, they planned this match out perfectly. They put the spots in the right places so that it just kept building and building and building, as we'll get to.
Oh, it really did. Wee Man then goes under the ring and pulls out. Now, I don't know what this was. In my notes, I put a bottom kicking machine.
It reminded me
It's
of...
something. It is. I believe it's a Jackass gag.
I can't
So
remember
you'll
what
know
it's
it in the
from.
chat, and you'll be putting it in the chat now. I'm sure.
It just reminded me of the Simpsons Australian boot to the bum. That's all it reminded me of, is that you get a boot to the bum from the Australian government if you've done a naughty.
Well, maybe that's what it was. And he puts it into the ring, he gets booted in the face by Sami Zayn for his trouble, does Wee Man. Sami's about to go off the top rope, and Knoxville pulls out a button. He's holding a button. And he presses it, and the pyro goes off. That burns Sami's particulars. This is followed up with a bowling ball to the particulars.
So good.
And then a boot to the particulars from the Australian bottom kicking machine. Sami runs out of the ring, and as he's running out of the ring, he is met by that massive hand from that episode of Jackass years ago. The big hand that came out of nowhere. And it was, you know what? Kevin Dunn gets a shoe-in a lot of the time for his editing.
Yeah.
That was great.
It was spot on.
Came absolutely out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And he just ran into it, and it just genuinely caught me off guard.
I'm so glad
it.
we didn't see it on camera either. You know, like you said, it just came out of nowhere. Like, it was such a nice surprise, because I think some of us were hoping that was going to make a show. And it did, and Mae Young and Mark Henry are dead proud of what their child has become.
All the legends returning for WrestleMania.
They were.
Even Mark Henry and Mae Young's son. Sami tries to go up top when he recovers from this. This is awesome. Chants are raining everywhere. Knoxville grabs him as he's coming off the top rope with tongs, pushes him off the top. Weird, because I'd made a joke on Twitter. I put a lot of nonsense on Twitter, and I'd said, like, breaking news, WWE livid because WrestleMania commemorative cooking tongs have sold out. And I just thought cooking tongs, because they were quite, just an obscure kitchen appliance for a tweet. There was no reason I chose that. And then, lo and behold, they're using cooking tongs. You know, a unident, I think they call that. A unident. So Tongs pulls him off the top. It sends Sami through the mousetrap table at ringside. And then the Jackass crew bring in a massive mousetrap.
Wow. Wow. You start off this match going like, oh, okay, I can see where this is going now. And then by the end, you're like, what am I watching? Have I taken some micro dots or something? I don't know what's going on right now, but there's a giant mousetrap in the ring.
I had a brief moment where I thought that it wasn't going to work, because they laid Sami down and they were trying to pull some buttons and it wasn't moving. I thought, oh, what a shame. But then thankfully it went bong.
Yes.
And the mousetrap caught Sami. You're laying where the cheese goes, Sami.
No.
I think it was Byron Saxton that might, no, or Corey Graves that might have cried that. Bang, gets caught. Knoxville pins him. 1, 2, 3. Johnny Knoxville beats Sami Zayn. The Jackass crew leave. As Sami Zayn remains in the center of the ring, trapped in a massive mousetrap. A.
Agreed.
How is this anything less than an A?
I absolutely agree.
Brilliant.
And not only that, we saw loads of really awesome bits. Like, I don't even think we touched on, but Wee Man body slams Sami Zayn. Wee Man picks Sami Zayn up and full-on body slams him, which is so good.
One of the coolest moments. I forgot to say that.
No, look, it's the
new Hogan Andre.
That's the thing though, because there's so much in this match. Like, sometimes you forget about the little bits, and it was little things like that that really made it, because it went from one extreme to the other, and it kept getting more absurd, and that lends itself to the Jackass product too. It was like just watching an episode of Jackass, but it was in a wrestling ring, and it was perfect. And there's no other perfect person to be in that situation than Sami Zayn, because Sami's got everything right. He's got the wrestling acumen, but he's also got the comedic chops too, and he pulls it off to a T.
We had a chat, as I said, Sami Zayn chatted to me on the Cultaholic podcast feed last week, and one of the reasons that Sami Zayn said that he re-signed with WWE, he told me, was that he was being very creatively fulfilled in WWE, and he was being given sort of this carte blanche to create things that are a bit different, and there's a great example of it there. Both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn absolutely making the right decision to stay with WWE, because they have had incredible weekends.
Yeah.
I've got to give this an A. I know wrestling purists will be like, well, it wasn't a very wrestling match, but come on, were you not sports entertained?
Yeah.
By all that?
I completely agree. As we've been saying sort of as well, is like this whole WrestleMania almost feels like a callback to a time that's passed now, and it was just a really nice way to kind of pay homage to that time too. Like, just do you remember how excited we used to be when a hardcore match was on SmackDown?
Yeah.
Like, and that's how it felt. I think it made us feel like kids again, especially with the Jackass crew being in there too, because a lot of us were only young when we first started seeing that as well. So to like see it all come back round, I thought was really actually quite touching in a way. Even if it was silly bollocks, it was touching at the same time.
Yeah, Dave Meltzer's not going to give this 5 stars in the Tokyo Dome. Even if it was in the Tokyo Dome, it wouldn't even get 6. But I can't not give this an A.
It's got to be an A.
It was great. Lock it in. It's an A. It's an A.
Woo!
Wrestling's the best when it's nonsense, and this was wrestling nonsense at its best. See more of it, but not too much more of it, because then diminishing returns in it. Let's back to the regular wrestling scheduled program now. It is a fatal 4-way women's tag team championship match. Naomi and Sasha Banks challenging, as well as Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, and Shayna Baszler and Natalya. They're challenging Zelina and Carmella for the titles. Banks is out driving a lovely car to the ring.
Oh, a Lamborghini. If I do know my cars.
Was it a Lambo?
I don't know my car.
Was it a Lambo?
But I think it was. It looks like a Batmobile, right, Tom? And Batmobiles look like Lamborghinis these days. The big tumbler thing, whatever it is. I'm saying a Lamborghini.
We'll say a Lamborghini.
It's a
Please tell
Lamborghini.
us if we're wrong, and we will definitely know. Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley are in Catwoman attire.
Yeah, Catwoman and...
There's a Donnie Darko reference on commentary.
I thought it was Donnie Darko, and then someone was like, oh, it's Batman. And then they were like, when's Batman ever had, like, ears that long? And they're like, he's got ears that long now, though. Like, what?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Now he's Rabbit Man.
Yeah, that's so strange.
I like the Liv Morgan Rhea Ripley combo.
Me too.
There's kind of like a sub-dom thing to it, which is very different. I like it.
Whereas when we had Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH, just something didn't quite click. I guess because their gimmicks were a little bit, their personalities were a little bit off. And I get that was part of the storyline. You know, these two people who you thought, and they get along in a tag team, actually did for a little while. But I think aesthetically, Liv and Rhea really complement each other. And
there's like a nice sort of very tangible chemistry between the two as well. So even though like tonight didn't go their way, I like them as a team. Morgan and Banks hit dives outside the ring early on. Liv Morgan gets isolated for quite a bit in this match. She gets beaten on by Shayna Baszler for a bit until Carmella tags herself in to pick the bones. So we're back to doing singles in the ring, whereas the triple threat match we had 3 people in the ring at once.
Yes.
This is just back to doing one-on-one at a time. I'm sorry, I've got a frog in my throat.
It's all right.
During all this, I've been...
Get out, frog. That's not the place you should be.
It's not the thing, by the way. I did a test before, you know. I've got some here. I've got some water here, Dan. Thank you, Dan. Love you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan. Dr. Dan.
Dan tells us that Justin Thunder Lightning Tiger's plane has just landed.
Wait, oh my! He's probably just got back to Japan, and now he's flying back. What a consummate professional!
He had to go back because he had to pick up some washing detergent.
Hey, look, you can't fault a man. Sometimes you got to do your washing.
Yeah, you have got to do your washing. In fact, that's the title of his next book, Justin Tiger's book. Sometimes you have to do your washing. So Morgan gets beaten up for a bit. Then Carmella gets in to pick at the bones. Ripley gets sick of watching Liv get dominated.
Yep.
She jumps into the ring to sort it, leading to everybody getting in and hitting signature moves. The carnage leads to 2 stereo towers of doom with Ripley and Morgan at the bottom.
Good.
Like a nice Tower of Doom with everybody up the top. Morgan and Ripley hit a Codebreaker Riptide combo on Naomi, but Sasha bursts into existence to break the pin.
Yeah.
They're sort of flying things like she came through a portal. Like, bang! Natalya and Shayna go for a heart attack, but Carmella tags herself in. Natalya gets pulled out of the room. We don't see that. Carmella's livid that she can't keep Naomi down for 3 seconds, and eventually she gets rocked with an Inzaguri and a frog splash. Bank's statement gets broken by Zelina, but the Glow Girls will not be denied. We get a wheelbarrow code breaker combo, and Sasha and Naomi with that become the women's tag team champions. New champs, genuinely emotional.
Yep.
As Byron and Jimmy mock a very aggrieved Corey Graves because I don't know whether you'd heard, but if Carmella and Zelina had retained, Corey was going to get his tackle out on Raw.
Get his little Corey Graves out.
He's going to get his little Corey Graves out on Raw.
Oh my God.
And I enjoyed the continuity of the fact that there is a winner's share of the purse money in wrestling, because Corey was like, this match was gonna pay for our honeymoon.
He was dressed in white, as was Carmella when she came out too. It was I'm glad that's not going to be a thing that we see on the telly.
No. What did we make of the women's tag match?
So I thought it was very good. I think to start with, it was a little bit chaotic. I'm not sure everybody sort of knew where they needed or wanted to be to begin with, but then when we start getting the footing and we started to get to the point where everybody's hitting the finishes and whatnot, and it's getting really close, like close pinfall attempts and everything, that's when it started to pick up. I think that's when the crowd were invested as well, because you've just had Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn, right, in this ridiculous, almost incomprehensible match, and that's, you know, the crowd need a little bit of time to recuperate from that, I think, as well. And you can tell that that's the case when this match starts, but when they all start to find the footing, when the cameras kind of know where to be looking, because there's a lot that goes off in this match, and I think we miss quite a bit of it as well. When the cameras know where they want to be, when we get the good stuff, I think it really kicks into gear. So I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it.
So what are you going to give it?
I think I'll give it a B. It wasn't quite on the level of the Raw tag team title match. Like, that flowed quite well. This one, there was little bits of, what's the word, stiltedness, I guess, a little bit of jankiness here and there. But ultimately, it did end up being a good match in the end.
It did. I was kind of leaning towards B-, but I might be polite with you, and I might go with yours and give it a B. So you know what? For the women's tag team match, lock it in. It's a B. Lock it in. It's a B. Hey, we've had a bunch of super chats.
We have. Thank you so much. So
I think if we go
that's
from
the one. That one there? Yeah. We've done that one.
We did Anthony, didn't we?
We did that one
so
last time.
Slay
Queen.
Kick off the floor. Slay JKT. Just for fun, see how WWE embraced how stupendous they can be in a span of 2 nights, with the wrestling community enjoying it. Anyway, special thanks to Tom for the energy. You helped me lots. Keep the positivity. Yes, love from Indonesia. Thank you so much, Indonesia.
Thank you so much.
GY Goliath, you wonderful soul. Thank you for the £50 donation. That's really, really kind of you. Thank you for the hard work on another amazing year of Mania coverage. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate you, Goliath. Thank you so much. You know what? This has been nice, because this has been first WrestleMania in 2 years that we've actually got to be together for it.
Yeah, which has felt so surreal, because it kind of, that was the norm for a little bit, right?
I think for both of you, this would have been our first WrestleMania in the office.
I think it will have been, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is,
we've been here forever now.
We have. We've been here. In fact, yesterday, I think, was my 3rd year anniversary of being here.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's very kind. Yeah.
Welcome in.
Surreal to actually be able to be here with people talking about the wrestling and being able to bounce off one another.
It's nice. It is nice. More bouncing. Rolling Courage, thank you for the donation. We need to hand it to Mark Henry for being a great father. He was indeed. The hand has grown up to be a big, strong boy. I've just heard the hand will be on AEW Dark this Tuesday. Chris Martins, thank you for the $10 through Super Chat. Kudos for Tom for politely describing the Jackass match. It was great.
It was good.
Easy to describe, and it's good. Can we get your commentary on their latest movie? I haven't seen it yet.
It's great.
Is it great?
I really like it. It's just a callback to old times.
Oh, that's nice. I like that. 40 rupees from Stem Cells again, saying people take Meltzer and Corny, etc. too seriously. I think we do. I think that there's certain people within the industry that have been around for a long time and whose opinions that we do very much favour. People who have got those connections within there, and I think, you know what? Everyone's, each to their own. Each to their own. You'll probably watch this and not agree with us giving the Jackass match an A.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You obviously don't like fun.
No. Hey, it's what they say, right? Opinions are like arseholes. Everybody's got one, and they all stink.
Hey, I like that. I like that a lot. Bron Wagner will get yours in $2.99. Thank you very much. Very excited for Edge's Stable.
Thank you. I think we missed one there.
Oh,
as well. We
did.
did the Man in Black. Thank you so much. Last
Sorry.
Cultaholic Live.
Thank you for the £20 as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The Last Cultaholic Live. It can't be. What a show to going back to WWE for me. And thanks, guys, for making it better. Thank you so much. Cody gets match of the weekend, but thought the main event was a bit flat. A new belt tonight could have saved it.
Ah, so we'll have the new championship ready to go.
Maybe we will see.
I don't quite like. Well, we'll touch on that.
We will.
Some comments there about Edge's Stable. We'll have to get into that because in a few moments' time, we're going to be going through AJ Styles versus Edge. We still are going to be talking about in a few moments' time Vince McMahon's involvement at WrestleMania. And we will get into the weeds on how we feel like WrestleMania wrapped up. We've got all of that still to come. AJ Styles versus Edge on the way in just a bit. But before we do all of that, it is time. He is here.
Hello?
We're gonna throw to him. Let's bring him out. It is Justin Thunder Tiger for Truth or Liger. Oh, one of these things isn't true. Not true. Is it Truth or Liger? Liger. Now is it Truth or Liger? Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. It's Truth or Liger.
Hey up, it's me. Everyone's favourite. Everyone's favourite.
Yes, we've seen the numbers. There are people.
Don't look at the numbers. Like I told Adam Pachees don't look at those numbers. It don't mean diddly squat. Diddly squat is what we say back in Japan. In Japan we say diddly squat. I can't wait. I got so many plans for this year, Cultaholic Live. I got so many plans.
Well, you know what? And I'm sure you've prepared a quiz for us today.
I certainly bloody have. Can I get hell yeah?
Hell yeah! Well, look, on this occasion, Justin Tiger, yeah, I mean, you have very much been a part of Cultaholic Live, and since things are changing a little bit, we want to give you something that you deserve for your time with us. So we have a little gift for you today.
I bloody love gifts.
Yeah. And it's not just a gift. It's a road trip because we are sending you to the farm.
The farm. I bloody love the farm.
Yeah. And so Andrew's on his way round.
I'm coming, Justin.
Now, the front door. There's a lot of stuff in the way, so
yeah,
you might want to take him out the back.
I'll take him out back. Don't worry. All right then. I won't be too long.
All right.
Come on, Tiger.
Bloody hell, Andrew. Tell me like you done before.
Okay. You just look over there and I'll tell you. So you can almost see it, right?
Say what?
Just over there. You see?
I do, Andrew. Bloody hell, I do.
Guys like us, they ain't got no family. Ain't got nobody who gives a hoot in hell about them.
But I got you, Andrew.
And I got you, Justin Lightning Tiger.
Andrew, tell me how it's gonna be.
We're gonna get our own channel, buddy. You can say anything you want.
Anything?
And you can be on camera the whole damn time.
The whole time? And we'll do top 10 lists of bra and panties matches. And Adam Pachees will be my own personal assistant. People will donate thousands of pounds just to see us. And no one will ever question my authentic Japanese accent. By heck!
I'm gonna cry. Oh, yeah.
Nice fella.
All right.
Is it going to think it'll rain later?
Yeah, I think I checked my phone. It's supposed to be quite cold later.
Can't
actually.
decide. I can't
That's why I
decide.
brought my jacket.
That's a good, nice
Yeah,
jacket that
yeah,
as
thank
well.
you,
Actually, I
thank
should have
you.
thought of that. AJ Styles and Edge. This is kind of going to be the work rate match of the night.
Absolutely.
In comparison to like Cody and Seth from the night before.
Yes, yeah.
Styles. Let's start with AJ. Bless him. He did himself a cropper on his way to the ring.
He did. I thought, because I didn't see this, so apparently he clocked his face on the stage at the top, and I didn't see this, and I was like, oh, he's just shaved a bit. He's just like cut himself there, trying to shave that nice chin strap thing that he's got going on.
what a night on your WrestleMania on the big stage. It's a bit like getting a zit on prom night.
Oh, bless him.
But yeah, so Wrestling Inc. Thank you for that. They shared the video of AJ, bless him. On we're all human after all. Walking out, it's like they don't want none. Here he comes. Oh, cut me head. Like, very human. He's fine. AJ's absolutely fine. And then from one entrance to another. Edge's entrance for this. Oh, my days.
So good. It was like brewed, but then also new because he comes out on his throne. And that's like a callback. A call to his throne of omnipotence.
Yeah,
right?
on the top of the mountain, on his throne of omnipotence. So he comes through the ramp in his throne. There's flames everywhere. Do you know what it reminded me of? And I thought, again, this is a nice little throwback.
Yeah.
Very Ministry of Darkness.
Very Ministry of Darkness, and I like it.
And we'll talk on a little more on that in a bit. I love this a lot. I think the repackaging of Edge. It's always difficult when you are going to repackage and put a new coat of paint on something so established.
Yeah.
But Edge has just completely remastered himself.
And I'll tell you something as well. Wasn't a big fan of the music change when we first heard it. It made sense here with this entrance. I thought it all really worked well together.
Oh, the whole look is sublime. So this is the wrestling match of the night. These two are just sublime together, as expected. Edge gets the knees up on a springboard 450 early on. It slows down Styles' momentum. We see Edge focus a lot on I think it's the ribs and the shoulder area, so like the side of AJ Styles.
Well, AJ goes for a 450, doesn't he? But Edge gets the knees up, and AJ very much sells the ribs. He's like, my ribs, like really shouting out. I was like, oh my God, he's hurt. He's hurt. But he did a really good job of selling this.
AJ fires back with a springboard DDT and a torture rack bomb. There's some real lovely stuff here. Move of the match probably was the superplex. And, there was little room for error on this. It was AJ hitting a superplex onto Edge, onto the apron.
My God.
Off the top rope. It just looks like inch either way.
Yeah.
And it would have been an unpleasant time for everybody.
Definitely.
Styles clash shortly after that. Only gets a 2 count. AJ gets ready for the phenomenal forearm.
Yep.
And who's this walking along ringside? It's flipping Damian Priest.
It is Big Damo. I was going to say Big Damo.
Oh, Big Damo's back.
Damian Priest.
He's controlling his narrative at the moment. He's a busy boy.
A new look as well. A little bit of a new look for him.
Big Damo.
Damian Priest. He's shaved his head as Big Damo.
He's shaved, yeah.
No, he looks. I mean, obviously, he had the rock and roll kind of darker persona before, but this is very much like it's even darker now. You need to hold the lighter close to Damian Priest to see what he looks like now.
Damian Priest caught AJ's eye, and it slowed down AJ Styles for a moment, and it gave Edge enough time to recuperate. So as AJ went for the phenomenal forearm, he got caught with a spear in midair for the 1, 2, 3. Post-match, Priest takes the knee for Edge, and Edge laughs like a wild man. This was great. This was like... This is what, when WWE does this right, when they really got their head on, they can provide a little bit of everything for everyone.
Yes.
And we'd had the silliness from the Johnny Knoxville Sami Zayn match. And then here, for the wrestling fans in the room, you had AJ Styles versus Edge.
Yeah.
And they put on a belter, I think.
They did absolutely nailed it. I really enjoyed this one too. I think this one was sort of the Cody Seth of the night. I think it was always going to be in terms of storytelling and like in the moves that they pull off, not just in like the subtle little sort of things that they say to one another, but very much like through the moves. And it was very slow and methodical, but that I think in itself was very methodical because it gave the big moments chance to breathe and really like have an impact when they happened, especially like the suplex on the apron and whatnot too. Like that was very, very brutal to see. And I just like this was built up as a dream match, and I think it very much lived up to it as well. Granted, obviously, the ending with Damian Priest coming out, some might see it as screwy, but I mean, Priest himself didn't necessarily get involved, so I kind of don't see it in that way, Like, no. AJ took his eye off the ball a little bit.
Yeah,
that was all on AJ, really.
It wasn't like him running in and attacking him.
Yeah, exactly. And I liked that he didn't get involved in that way because I think that would have marred it a little bit for me. But because he just stayed on the outside, didn't really say anything, was very mysterious, I think it lent itself very well to the ending of this match.
I'm feeling an A for this one.
Definitely.
I think anything less than an A would be wrong.
Yeah, I know. I completely agree. And Edge is just like... Edge just tuned it up again. How did he keep doing this every single time? We're like, my God, this man is really intense. And then he just taps into something else that goes even further. And this feels like a special heel turn. We've seen heel Edge many a time, but this is like something with a little bit more spice, as Ross would say.
From a member of the Ministry of Darkness to the man who's essentially leading the new Ministry of Darkness. That's where this feels. Lock it in. It's an A. Woo! It's an A for Edge and AJ Styles. Damian Priest in the gang. There's a super chat which we can discuss this, but we've had quite a few. You've been really kind today with these.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's the last Cultaholic Live, so any mentions you want to get for WrestleMania over the weekend, anything you saw last night that you loved, over the weekend that you loved, maybe something that you didn't like and you want to debate it, get in touch with the power of the super chat. Thank you very much indeed for these. So we are up to
Braun Wagner, I think.
Stem cells. We did Braun Wagner.
Braun Wagner.
You are correct.
Braun Wagner, thank you. Very excited for Edge's stable, as I think we all are. I want to know who else is going to be in this stable now.
Okay. Let's put Ciampa in there.
Oh.
Either we put Ciampa in the stable or against the stable.
That's very, very good.
Edge and Ciampa.
That would be awesome.
What if it leads to... I mean, there is something really exciting about the idea of having Ciampa in the stable with Priest and Edge, but Ciampa be the one that 12 months down the line breaks away, and then we get an Edge Ciampa story.
That'd be so
That's
good.
nice.
You've absolutely blown my mind there, Tom. That would be amazing because then you can have, obviously, they both had a history of neck injuries and stuff as well. And
you can lean into that as well.
You can, like, if you go for my neck, I'll go for your neck kind of thing.
The idea of like Ciampa saying like, I'm coming into the main roster. I don't like being on the main roster, but he knows the main roster. I'm going to stick with him. He's kind of he's kind of my kind of evil.
That'd be so, because he can just be like, all these others on the main roster, they're just like rubbish, wimps, all this lot.
You're all wimpy.
Ciampa and Edge, like, that seems like the perfect matchup, right? The intensity is perfect. I think Edge is very much someone who would probably fit into the black and gold NXT perfectly well if he chose to go there. So I think that would be a good shout.
Ciampa to join, and Mania in LA. We do Ciampa Edge. Ciampa beats Edge. So we have a story where we have Ciampa aside with Edge, and over the next 12 months we can have Ciampa pull away.
I'd like that a lot. I would like that a lot.
Make that a thing. Gar Monroe, thank you for the donation through Super Chat. Coming to cinemas 2023. All likers go to heaven. What are you talking about?
Not clue.
Emil Asnan, 15 donation through Super Chat. Edge and Damian member faction heel. Going to be 3, 4, or 5 members faction. The Brood 2.0 or something. And rumor or opinion, new stable. Good night. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think make this, we don't need to stop it at Ciampa and Damian Priest.
Yeah, I think we kind of like do what the House of Black is doing. Maybe have 2 to begin with, and then think, oh, okay, are we just sort of keeping it just the 2, and then have people slowly like join, or maybe have them both beat wrestlers, and then see those wrestlers slowly kind of. And maybe kind of like a cult sort of thing where they like, okay, now I see the light or the darkness or whatever it is.
Like
and
it plants a little seed in them.
Yeah.
Tell you it might work well in Edge's new super friend group. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan.
That's something that we're always
and
lacking.
And it gives the women's tag titles. And Sasha Banks said this in a WWE.com exclusive after WrestleMania, where she said, like, now we're going to like really show what these title belts are all about.
Yeah.
Like, because there is this general consensus that the belts are a bit forgotten about.
Yes, yeah.
So I don't know if Edge is running a faction and he recruits a women's tag team, and
perfect.
they go after the belts.
I mean,
that's quite cool.
That's one thing I always think about stables as well, is that sometimes they don't tap into the or the women's roster or the men's roster. Like, why not have a faction that goes after every single title in the division? And hold them all. And that's what you want, isn't it? And then you can build up some more stars, have a team come in and like finally topple like the big bads. Something like that would be, oh my god, storytelling, City Central.
Paul Steers, £5 donation through Super Chat. Gentlemen, take a bow for that Mice and Men ending. Took me back to GCSE English, like WWE took me back with Austin stunning Vince. Was that meant to be that for us? I don't know whether you said that to the wrong Mice and Men ending. I don't. But thank you, Paul.
Thank you so much.
And you know what? The Austin Stun thing, we're going to get on that.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot to be said for that. Boneless Pizza, Brood 2.0, the Twood.
The Twood, that's very good.
Brood 2.0, the Twood. I like, because it could be a group of owls. Michael Mack, thank you for the donation. Any combo of Ciampa, Ripley, Loomis, Dijakovic, Liv would be great. That's a good. Do you know what? We've got T-Bar and Mace.
We do.
Who aren't doing a fat lot.
That would be very good. Loomis would be perfect as well.
I kind of like Loomis as a loner.
Okay.
Personally.
No, yeah.
I like the idea of Loomis maybe coming to the main roster and just maybe being somebody they would like to recruit.
Yeah.
And because he's pretty much mute, like you don't really know where his heart hangs.
Yeah, that's good. I do like that very much. Maybe if he does come into the faction, just have him under the ring and then just drag people in, and then they come out and they're wearing a black robe.
Oh, nice! So not only is it Little People's Court, there's also a shopping mall under there.
There's everything. There's everything you could wish for.
There's millions of Jeffrey all under one roof. Moving on. Thank you so much for your super chats. Keep those coming in. We will do more in a bit.
Thank you very much.
New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland. Now, full disclosure, I write my notes sort of as the show is going on.
Yeah,
so I've got the television here, I've got my laptop here, and I'm writing as I go. And this is the second night of WrestleMania. Very sleep.
Yep.
And I've written here New Day versus Sheamus and Finlay.
Wow.
So I don't know who I was thinking about.
Maybe you saw something we all didn't.
Maybe a super Irish group. It was Sheamus and Ridge Holland with Butch. This was the match that was booted off of night one due to time constraints. Yeah. They get it here. New Day are wearing Big E inspired attire. They're in the Big E singlets, and they're the singlets that Big E was wearing when he won the WWE title. Yeah. So that was a nice little touch.
Nice fallback.
Bell sounds. So Butch throws the New Day's entrance jackets around as the match gets started. It's just a bit random. Bell sounds, ding, ding, ding. Kofi Kingston hits Trouble in Paradise straight off the bat. As New Day get rolling, Sheamus hits Kofi with a bro kick on the outside. He hits one to Woods in the ring whilst Butch distracts the referee. Holland gets in the ring, hits Northern Grit, 1, 2, 3, and then they have to pry Butch off of Woods after the bell. Less than 2 minutes and we're done. Yeah. Wow. Thanks. There's part of it, you know when you forget someone's birthday?
Yeah.
You go, oh, God, I've got to get him a present. And then you have to rush to, like, the petrol station to buy them. You buy them something, a Mars bar or, like, some charcoal briquettes. Yeah. And you go, you might as well have not bothered. You might as well have not bothered.
That's it. Like, it was, we were talking about this, and you actually gave a good reason as to why it might not have been on night one, because I was like, how could that not have been squeezed onto night one? Night two, very much. I think night two, as great as it was, I think it did feel a little bit more bloated than night one. Night one felt very condensed and to the point and whatnot. And there was not that night two didn't have those moments, but this could have very well just not been on the card. It felt like it should have just been on SmackDown or something, you know?
Yeah. It could have just been a match on the show. Yeah. On a SmackDown show rather. But yeah, in terms of like why, I mean, this is something that I didn't realize until much later on. I imagine that if you were affected by it, then you would know already. So the reason that we got so many video packages last night, and the reason that we got so many callbacks to night one, last night, the reason we got so many video packages on Saturday, time in it, because in America, like the Saturday show is our Sunday morning, and the Sunday show is our Monday. I keep thinking today's Sunday.
Me too.
I'm in such a weird headspace with it. But so anyway, night 2 had loads of callbacks to night 1. Night 1 had a load of video packages plug in night 2.
Yeah.
That's because if you're on the lowest tier of the Peacock network, they chuck ad breaks in. So those are in there. So that if you're watching on the low rung of the Peacock and you don't miss any action. So that's why it was missed off, because basically they had to get all of those extra things in for ad breaks and stuff. But what a shame. They get 1 minute 40. They did what they could with it.
Yeah.
What you grade it? Like, it wasn't...
I give it a D. Like, there wasn't just much. Maybe a D's even. Maybe that's polite. I don't know.
And if it's not in the... It's with no disrespect to the performers involved.
Absolutely not.
Like, they were given them 2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes to get it done. And...
I felt, do you know
awful.
what? I felt very sorry for the New Day in that they come out in this Biggie inspired gimmick. It's Biggie inspired clothes and don't really get to show that off or really do like their friend proud or anything.
They did.
Well, they did.
They did E proud.
They did. I hope they did. I hope they did. It just felt very weird. Like, I'd like them to have been able to show that off a little bit more.
Yeah. Oh, should we go with a D? I feel bad saying. Can we at least switch it up to a D plus?
We can do a D plus. I'll do a D plus.
Can we lock? Okay. Let's do that. Let's lock it in. D
Brilliant.
plus. We'll lock it in with a D plus. Sorry, lads.
It's not your fault.
It's not, honestly,
not their fault.
it's really
That's
not. Super chat's just the one to read out, and then we're up to speed. Who's that from?
That's from CM Origins. Thank you so much for the donation there. Corporate Ministry 2.0 with Shane joining Edge's stable.
Oh, stop
Ross
it!
will need more than just blarted socks. He absolutely will. He absolutely will. Could you imagine if that actually happened? I think he might just quit forever.
I think he would probably go into accounting or something.
Yeah.
If Shane joined the Corporate Ministry 2.0. Your super chats are greatly appreciated. We've got some big matches still to come. The main event we're going to be talking about very short amount of time. And, some questions on sort of how that went down.
Yeah.
Because we are asking a lot of questions today, and we'll have a little update on that for you in a little bit as well. Hall of Fame night before, we saw all the inductees. Tonight, the last night, they went, we're going to say thanks again to our Hall of Fame inductees. And I thought, they're going to bring everyone out again?
Yeah, I thought that too.
But no, they just brought out The Undertaker.
Yeah.
So we had this bit where, and bear in mind that the New Day got 1 minute 40. We had a bit where The Undertaker walked out.
Yep.
Walked to the side of the stage.
Yep.
Walked to the other side of the stage.
Yep.
Stood in the center. Looked around. Thank you. Walked off again.
There you go.
It had all the energy of walking into the living room and forgetting what you went in there for. This is just all right. Bless him.
Part of me thought, right, because, during the whole Hall of Fame speech at the end, he puts the hat back on and says, never say never.
Yeah.
I thought...
Match.
Because the Titantron was blank at that point. It was just black, I think. Obviously, again, I like color scheme for the Undertaker, but I was expecting like never say never or something to come up on the Titantron, teasing another match. And because it was just such a weird segment to have, wasn't it? Just for him to come out, I get it. I absolutely get it. He's an absolute legend, and to have him out in front of a crowd, which we missed when he had his little retirement thing at Survivor Series the other year. Like, I get it. You want to give him his moment, but it kind of just felt out of place.
Bit weird.
Yeah.
Just a bit weird. I get the never say never thing. I see that being the strap of a WrestleMania in years to come.
Yeah.
Where we have like Undertaker versus somebody.
Yeah.
And you call it WrestleMania 41, never say never.
I
I think
quite
that's
good, that,
what they
actually.
might do.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that seed there. That's what they do. Never say never. How appropriate a phrase for our next match. It is Austin Theory versus Pat McAfee.
Woo!
Late in the night for these two.
Yeah,
like
it is.
The penultimate match. I was like, okay, well, we'll figure out why in a bit. Vince McMahon is out first. He introduces Austin Theory, and they have a selfie together. It's a lovely moment. Pat McAfee out to White Stripes 7 Nation Army with the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders at either side of the ramp. Fireworks. He boots a ball.
He does?
You know when you're a teenager, maybe you do it now, and you play the new wrestling game, and you make yourself in the Creator Wrestler.
Yeah.
And you give yourself just the most ridiculous entrance and all the cool moves. That's what Pat McAfee's doing, but in real life. It's amazing.
It is amazing. And if there's ever a song to get someone over, if there's ever an entrance, a piece of entrance music to get someone over, it's something I think that the whole crowd are able to sing and get behind. And the whole crowd, as soon as Seven Nation Army hits, they are hot for Pat McAfee. They are hot for Pat McAfee. And I think rightly so as the match goes on, you know. I think absolutely well-deserved for Pat.
I imagine they're all sort of old-school ICW fans as well. Lionheart is a... Can't say it on YouTube, but we miss you, Lionheart. So we have, as you say, McAfee busts out some big moves. Hurricane Rana early on.
A standing Hurricane Rana.
Yeah!
Leaps onto the shoulders of Austin Theory, and it's beautiful.
It's over like Rover. He beats up Theory outside the ring, even jumps on commentary for a bit whilst he's doing it.
So good.
Like throwback to when The Rock would jump on commentary during his matches with Austin in '99. He misses a swanton. And that changes the momentum with Theory starting to come back into this. McAfee pushes back with a kip-up superplex, jumps up onto the top rope. He loves doing that. He misses a punt kick, but counters an ATD with a roll-up for a very shock sudden 3.
Yeah.
But this was like a really fun, 8 or 9 minutes?
It really was, and like to see the crowd come alive again was so good too. Now this is the kind of match you want on before the main event, right? To get everybody super excited for what's to come. And I don't think you could have put a better person in that spot than Pat McAfee, because Pat brought all the energy, and it was so good to see. And it felt really good to see him, you know, in the promo packages and everything. He's like, I've wanted to do this since I was a little kid. Like, he actually got to live out his moment, his fantasy.
His Creator Wrestler fantasy.
It came true. It came true, and it was genuinely really sweet to see. And he put everything into it as well. Like, you can't fault the man. He puts everything into everything that he does, and he deserves it so much.
His fantasy did not end there. We're not going to give you that, because Austin Theory is being scolded by Vince McMahon outside the ring, and Pat kind of joking, he's like, hey, come on, Vince, let's go. And Vince starts to take his jacket off. Crowd pops, and then he goes, nah, keep it on. And he actually goes, nah, takes his jacket off, takes his tie off, reveals a wrestling top underneath, and the crowd lose their minds as Vince gets into the ring.
We see that vest and we know stuff's about to go down, don't we? We see him in that black vest and we are like, he is ready to go. His arms still wider than I think I'll ever be in my entire life. Ridiculous at that age.
I know he's getting up there, but wow, if I look that good, you know, when I'm in my late 70s, I'll be perfectly fine with that.
Honestly.
And then he brings out a ref, and we are getting Pat McAfee versus Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is competing at WrestleMania 38. Austin Theory attacks Pat McAfee a couple of times in this one from behind. We see McMahon hit a lariat a couple of times.
Mental.
Couple of clotheslines.
It just and Pat sells it so well too, bless him.
Oh, Pat is
really
bouncing around the ring
he
for
is.
Vince.
I think we even get one point him going into the turnbuckle as well, and he full on bounces back and sells it super well. He does such a good job.
Then Vince McMahon with Theory lays out Pat McAfee by dragging his legs into the post, so hitting him in the grapefruits. Vince McMahon gets a football. I'm sad it wasn't an XFL ball. That'd have been fun. He gets a football and he punts it into Pat's face.
That's the new, in Simpsons where it's man gets hit by football in the groin. That's the new football in the groin thing. Vince McMahon hoofs a ball into you.
I hope someone's made that as a Botchamania outro already. I hope so. If you haven't, someone should get on that. And after the deadly punt from the real punt kick from hell, Vince covers Pat and gets 3.
Wow.
Sure. Vince, and do you know what? Good on Vince.
Yep.
That's his first win at WrestleMania.
Let's give it to him.
Give it to the plucky youngster.
The young upstart.
He's
got wonderful things coming in his future.
Oh, he's got a bright future at WrestleMania now. The new streak begins. And as Austin Theory is celebrating, Vince gets Austin Theory back in the ring. Theory's climbing all the turnbuckles to celebrate. And Vince raises Austin Theory's arm.
Yeah.
Theory's music plays. Vince jumps out of his skin.
What?
To which we then go, okay, something's happening. Vince just missed his cue. And then lo and behold, a little while later,
here he comes.
Glass shatters.
I was quite tired at this point, and I didn't notice that part. So for me, when all this was going on, I was like, oof. You're kind of taking the wind out of the sails of this one, aren't you? Before the main event, and I didn't notice like the little jaunt there from Vince McMahon when that happened. And for some reason, because we'd seen Stone Cold on night one, it never clicked in my head that Stone Cold was going to come out again, and I have no idea why. So when the glass shattered, I was like, oh, like it just picked back up again. My energy just picked back up again, and I was all for it.
It was great. It was so good. So Austin marches to the ring. He introduced himself to Austin Theory with a stunner, and flipping heck, Austin Theory, like channeling The Rock and then some.
My goodness.
With the sell of that stunner.
My goodness. So we've got Theory doing a fantastic job, and now we've got Byron as well doing a fantastic job.
But I like how Theory. I'm not going to go too deep into the analysis of the sell of the stunner.
Yeah.
But Theory combined the Scott Hall sell, which is the Sonic the Hedgehog losing his rings sell to the stunner, and the Rock sell of I just threw a mackerel on the pavement. And just made this beautiful combo. So well done to Austin Theory.
Well done.
This leaves Vince and Austin in the ring together. Vince says, let's have a beer. Have a little beer.
Yeah, a little sip. He does a little bit. I thought this was so good. He does the little sip. That's all right.
Because it's Broken Skull IPA.
Yeah, he's like, oh, that's all right. And that only leads to everybody the big, beefy, bussing moment of night 2.
It's time for my big beefy bussy moment.
It's yet again another Stone Cold Stunner, Tom. It's the Stone Cold Stunner to Vince McMahon.
Yes!
And Vince not only sells the stunner, Vince sells the kick that Austin does beforehand.
Vince sells the stunner, the kick, a sudden push from a ghost.
He's drunk.
Gravity.
Those 2 sips and he's off his rocker. He can't stay up straight. He don't know where he's going. He's like flopping about everywhere. Stone Cold gets the stunner on him, and what more can you do? Stone Cold knows what's going on. Stone Cold's just laughing his head off.
Let's break down. I want to break down this big, beefy, bussy moment. It's the last big, beefy, bussy moment, and it's the best big, beefy, bussy moment.
It really is.
Austin with the boot, the setup boot. Vince McMahon sort of recoils as if he's about to kind of get in position for the stunner, but he lost his footing.
He goes a little bit too low, doesn't he? He kind of fumbles a little bit, bless him.
So Austin tries to pull him up, and as he's pulled up, like he obviously leans back because he staggers backwards. And then you've got Austin sort of chasing Vince like he's trying to catch a pigeon. Like he's just like trying to grab him as Vince is reeling backwards. So Austin eventually puts his hand on him, pulls him forward, roughly hooks the head.
Gets the head.
Austin...
Vince goes down and then Austin's like, I guess I better follow him going down. Should I? Go on then, let's do it.
And then he doesn't so much get dropped, does Vince? He just sort of crumbles.
Yeah, he does, bless him.
And I love it because Austin gets up and he's laughing his head off because he's like, oh, that was crap. Like,
he knows what's happened. What more could you ask?
He absolutely loved. It's been gift. It's shared forever.
Yep.
It's hilarious. It's
beautiful.
absolutely hilarious. I think it's something that people will pull out for many, many, many years to come. Then Vince gets Pat McAfee in the ring.
Yeah.
I think this was an audible.
Do you reckon?
I think this was an audible because Austin would have been like, I can't have the last stunner be that bag of garbage.
Yeah.
So he might have just said to Pat, go on, take a stunner. So they had a couple of beers and then Pat proper takes a stunner.
And he does the whole, he blows the beer out of the mouth. It's just like going up so it looks visually like stunning. It's
Pat
so
understood
good.
the assignment that night.
He did.
And he gave us a big stunner. And then Austin, and then like, do you know what? I couldn't not laugh because like it happened. Austin's laughing in the ring.
Is.
And he starts running around the ring doing like an airplane. Like he is living his best life tonight.
Not only he is living his best life, Pat McAfee's on the outside selling this like nobody's business. guzzling beer, just like pouring beer in his mouth, not even blinking, and all this beer is just like gushing. It's just gushing out of his mouth, and like there's so many things right there that have concluded so perfectly. Like Pat has lived out his wildest dreams. You've got Stone Cold there just having the time of his life. We literally saw a Stone Cold Stunner on Steve Austin in the year 2022. Mental.
What a time
Mental.
to be alive. Thoughts on Austin Theory versus Pat McAfee / Pat McAfee versus Vince McMahon / Austin Vince one more time. All as a thing.
It's got to be an A.
It's got to be an A.
It was a callback. Granted, right, the beatdown was very long from Vince McMahon onto Pat, and it did take the wind out of the sails a little bit, but now you get why. Because it was like Kevin Owens on night one, just berating the crowd for as long as possible to make sure that crowd is hot when Stone Cold comes out. And that's what you want, isn't it? That's ultimately the reaction that you want, and I think it was... Again, it just made you feel like a kid. It made you feel like a kid in one of the biggest eras of wrestling that like arguably made wrestling just the like how popular it is today. The Attitude Era was phenomenal, and we got a little taste of that this weekend. I
was incredibly sports entertained throughout. It was fun all the way through. Great shown by Pat. Lovely to see everybody. Lock it in. It's an A. Yay. It's an A. For the whole final run. Oh, great stuff. Great stuff. I would give it an A ** for Vince's stunner if we had such a graphic, but we don't. We do not. We've got a few more of the old...
we do have the old
super chats.
Thank you so much to Nicole Cordova. Pat McAfee is living his best life. This was my favorite part of the night, as my family is from Pittsburgh. Wow, him drinking beer laid out was so Pittsburgh. Hey, we're all going to Pittsburgh if that's the case.
I'm up for that.
Lay on the pavement and just chug some beers and watch it all pour out of our mouths. I'm very much up for that. Claire Ridden, thank you so much for the super chat. Really enjoyed this WrestleMania. It's been a great weekend. Thank you both so much for these review shows. They'll be a big miss. Well, thank you so much. We've enjoyed doing them so much, haven't we, as well?
We've had a lovely time doing them.
Yeah.
It's been great to sit and do these.
It has.
Thank you very much indeed. Sry Lang X. The €5 super chat. Thank you very much. Love Cultaholic. We love you too. You guys always make my day. You make our day too. Would you rather see a continuation of the Seth versus Cody feud, or the Cody versus Edge, or somebody else versus?
I think I would quite like to see Seth versus Cody going a little bit longer, because as we were saying yesterday, you know, like Seth is kind of the protege of Triple H, right? And I think there's a lot more meat on the bones of that to go at before we move on to someone else. So I would like to see that continue. What about you?
I think another run through with Seth and Cody. I want a match at WrestleMania Backlash. Well, maybe we just cut out the middleman, because Cody in an interview said, "I want to win. You know, I'm here to win the belt that my dad never got."
Yeah.
Whether on Raw tonight, you just have Roman out there, and Cody comes out and goes, "Right, I'm back for one reason. I want that." Why don't we just... Yeah, sometimes I like to have stories sort of told over a long period of time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice just to get on with it. Maybe we just go straight away into Cody.
There's so many possibilities now, though, as well, isn't there? Because we've got Orton, too.
Orton.
I'd love to see Orton.
I like the idea of a Roman Bobby Lashley match. We've not seen that yet.
Yeah.
That's a new thing. So, I mean, there's some nice potential opponents for Roman.
There is.
I do like the idea of a Cody match.
Me too. We were missing people, weren't we, to go up against Roman, I think, and now I think we do have a few viable options, which is exciting.
I've just realised, because I was doing some admin on my phone, that I read out a super chat from Claire Ridden, who's a wonderful friend of mine. Hiya, Claire.
Nice.
Hiya, Hannah. Lovely to hear from you both. See you very soon. We will drink at North at some point.
Oh,
love you lots. Thank you very much for being here today. CM Origins, thank you for the £2 donation. Vince making Gravity look strong, damn it. Hey, Gravity, what's your finisher? I can't wait to kick out of it. Brian Moore, thank you for the £25 donation. That's really kind of you. Thank you. Appreciate both of your time and energy so much. Thanks for always being top blokes and wholesome folks.
Thank you so much.
Brian, not stealing my heart, I might steal that quote.
Oh.
Top blokes and wholesome folks.
That is nice, that, isn't
I
it?
like that. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you so much.
Great, strong name as well, Brian. I like it. Which brings us to our main event of the evening. It is the biggest WrestleMania match ever. Part 5 on ice. Yep. It's the Unification Match. Michael Cole saying we've never had a Unification Match ever. And I'm just
Pretty sure we have.
The same Michael Cole who said in the last match, I know that I shouldn't, but I'm going to be biased in this one.
Yep.
Forgetting about the fact that he once owned, quote, the coal mine. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, so first time ever we've had unified title matches. That's good. It is Universal Champion Roman Reigns versus the WWE Champion Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman introduces Roman Reigns. Brock Lesnar introduces himself.
And to a T.
Yeah.
As well. We usually, and I don't know if this isn't a little gripe on my behalf, but Lesnar usually when he says his last name, because he says it so excitedly, his voice breaks. He's like, Lesnar! And tonight he was spot on. He was so good. The energy Brock Lesnar was exuding was really, really cool to see, because we've seen Roman and Brock a few times before, and the energy has been nowhere this level. So it was really nice to see them both very much into this.
Yeah, they really were. So it is, and not in a nasty way, it is very much a Brock Roman match.
Yeah, it is.
It's basically spam your finisher and hope for the best. So Lesnar gets speared. Oh no, sorry, I missed a little step there. Lesnar batters Roman from the off.
Yeah.
Heyman pleads with Brock at one point on the outside of the ring to take him back. I love you. I loved you all along. Let's kiss the tongues. It was subterfuge, though, because it distracted Lesnar so he could get speared through the barricade by Roman Reigns. We see Lesnar get speared in the ring. But as he's speared, he absorbs the spear and starts throwing German suplexes around, which is good. An F5 gets 2. The ref gets knocked down. Roman capitalizes with a boop.
Low. Cock your fist, everybody.
A whoa. And a shot with the title belt. That only gets a 2. Roman hits a back spear. I feel like this is the new trend. He hits a classic spear. Roman turns it into a Kimura lock. So Brock turns it into a Kimura, yeah. So as he goes for the spear, Brock hits the Kimura lock in there, which is a nice way to counter the spear. It is. Then he's in it for ages, and he's trying to reach the ropes. He can't make the ropes. And then Heyman, it's very subtle. He just pushes the rope towards Reigns so Reigns can grab the rope. And we then get this bit, and this made me think something's gone amiss here. Because you had Paul Heyman going, my tribal chief, I beg you, please beat this man. You must defeat this man. And as he's saying that, Roman's going, it's out. It's popped out. It's popped. And then we realize, actually, Roman's in a bit of bother here. Yeah. Because it looks as if he's popped his shoulder out. And then we look back at some of the footage and you can see like his arms look a bit weird.
There's a lump. There's like a lump that's not usually there on his arm. It looks pretty painful.
So was it a work? Was it a shoot, brother? I guess we'll find out, because what happens after this is that with one arm, Reigns gets back to his feet. He gets hoisted up for the F5, gets out of it, bounces up the ropes, hits a spear, 1, 2, 3, just like that. Wow. Really anticlimactic, very sudden ending. Yeah. And Roman Reigns is now your undisputed Universal Champion. I think that's the title.
That is the title.
The undisputed Universal Champion.
Yeah, it is,
I like the visuals at the end of Roman holding both belts.
Looks good.
On the stage. He looks like the coolest man on the planet.
Oh, he does.
It's the right decision to have him hold the belts. They led us... they hadn't said anything was going to happen, but it was such a sudden finish.
It was a sudden finish, and we still had 15 minutes left on the clock, which led me to believe maybe we were going to see something. I thought we were perhaps going to see The Rock and then set up for next year's WrestleMania, because the watermark appears, and we were like, okay, maybe WrestleMania's just ending a little bit sooner than we thought. 15 minutes earlier, these things happen. Sometimes things just go quicker than expected. But then the watermark disappears, and then we get quite long shots of both Brock and Roman, and like the shots as well. You see Roman, he's got his back to the entrance ramp, so we can see the entrance ramp, and we can Roman. But if someone was to appear on the ramp, Roman wouldn't necessarily see that. So I was like, ooh, are we gonna get a surprise? Now that's just my thinking. So maybe I put a little bit too much hype into that, into something happening from that. But no, that's your lot. Like, it just fades out and done and dusted.
So, what did we make of the main event of the most stupendous WrestleMania?
But it was fine. I give it a B. Like, as you said, what more was it ever going to be? We've seen these two face off so many times before. And maybe it lends itself storytelling-wise, and that both of these competitors know each other so well that they know, well, can't put them away with regular moves, got to just bring out the big ones, let's spam the finishers and whatnot. And we've seen this before recently when they've had matches. I think it was at Crown Jewel as well, and it was just finisher City Central pretty much. You know, ref bump, we come to expect a ref bump now as well in these matches too. It's it was play by play, a Roman versus Brock match, as you said. And yeah, for all the build up, around these two belts finally being like unified, it fell a little bit flat, unfortunately. But as you said, the right person won. And I am very excited to see what Roman does now. That he's the biggest star in WWE now. Absolutely.
Lock it in. It's a B for the main event between Roman and Brock Lesnar. Lock it in. We're going to give our overall grade of the show in just a moment. Before we do, Adam's microphone, thank you for the super chat. Was Roman's injury at work? We don't know at this point.
Really
there was the weird lump on his arm suggests that it might not have been at work. They might have gone home early. There might have been a fear that there might have been more damage. So they might have just, rather than risk any more.
And I mean,
let's get away.
That's the thing too, right? Now that he's got both belts, you don't want him to have to vacate both belts.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, if it was an audible call that, okay, we need to actually get this done, fair plays to everybody involved to get that.
Cultaholicshop.com.
Yes.
38% off.
38% off. All merch.
There are wrestling buddies still left. I have it on good authority. There is maybe 10 of your Tom Campbell buddies left.
10?
Yes. 10 left.
They've gone so fast. 10
left. You've got, and if you only got a few hours left before they go back up to full price, so take full advantage of the 38% off. You don't need a coupon code, none of that nonsense. You don't need no scrubs. You just go to cultaholicshop.com and you get 38% off all your merch. Your Sound Driver, Wrestling Buddy, look at him there. You've got Andrew Hodkinson, Wrestling Buddies on there. We're all on there, plus t-shirts, badges, pins, hats, and loads of other stuff. And it's 38% off everything. Until tomorrow?
I think tomorrow, yeah.
Until tomorrow.
Yeah, until
tomorrow, just in case it isn't. To celebrate WrestleMania, it's 38% off. And we have been celebrating WrestleMania. What do we reckon overall for 2 nights of Mania?
I think overall, I think an A is a solid grade to give WrestleMania Night 2.
Yeah, Night 2.
Whilst it felt a little bit bloated compared to Night 1, it was still incredibly enjoyable too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it was a touch back on the wrestling. It was more sports entertainment-y the second night, but still worthy of an A. I think like the day before. So you know what? What a great weekend. Let's lock it in. It's an A for WrestleMania 38 Night 2. So much. Do you know what? One of the best WrestleManias of the modern era.
I can't
of the modern era.
And I was obviously thinking this as well, with this being the final Cultaholic Live. Like, what a good way to end it on as well, because we sometimes do these and we're like, oh, certain things weren't fantastic. This was so fun to do, so fun to watch, so fun to talk about. And another thing as well, like, just as a wrestling fan, seeing everybody give praise to this pay-per-view feels good too,
yeah,
right?
There's been so much love for it. It's been really, really good, and we hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. Adam is back tonight on YouTube. Live reactions to the Raw after WrestleMania. They're always rather fun. Plus,
they are.
Your WTF moments from WrestleMania Night 2 are online now. Your reactions from Andrew and Ross.
Yes, on
coming
Night 1's reactions will be up tonight, and then Night 2's reactions will be up tomorrow. No spoilers.
No spoilers, but check it out and see who the Cultaholic Heavyweight Champion is. And until we are next together, thank you for supporting Cultaholic and Cultaholic Live, making us 700,000 friends heavier. He is at Andrew Hodkinson. I'm at Tom Campbell. Together, we're at Cultaholic. Keys.
Love you. Bye.